I'm going to be sharing with you in this video why, in my opinion, you should stop working hard and do this instead. Because I found that the harder that I work does not get me the best results. I've personally found a better way, and I wish it upon any person to find for themselves that they can effortlessly get the results that they truly actually want. If you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell because I do actually post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, the only way to do so right now is by booking in a single session. You can book that by hitting the link that's in the description box of this video. It's also going to be in the comments of this video as well. Now, I want to start off this video with a question. And that question is, have you ever noticed that working hard doesn't actually deliver the best results? Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that when you work really, really hard and you struggle your way into what you want, that even if you get it, right? Even if you somehow manage to manifest what you want from that space of internal resistance, right? It usually just falls apart somehow, or something happens where you realize it's not what you really wanted, or maybe somehow the situation just falls apart, or you change your mind, right? Have you ever noticed that? And I think there's a really good reason for that. I think it's because, in a way, I don't want to make any bold claims around how the universe works or something, but I think on one level, maybe is it possible that from a divine greater perspective, that, again, I don't want to make any bold claims around this, so I'll just say it loosely, but I'll give you a practical answer in a second here, that from a divine perspective, life wants us to be in a state of as much ease and alignment as possible. Now, I'm not going to make any bold claims around that because I know that many people will be like, well, how do you know what the truth of existence is and all that? But how about this? If you think for yourself, what kind of life do you want? Is it sustainable to create a life and a paradigm of living, a way of life where you're internally struggling for a majority of your day? Is that sustainable? I believe that eventually, it's just my belief, I don't want to tell people how to live life. I believe that eventually what will happen is that many people will realize, and already are realizing now on the planet, that living in a state of internal resistance is simply not going to be sustainable because it's not fun. It's not fun. When we have what we think that we want, but we're living in a state of resistance and heaviness and not feeling how we really want to feel, it's just not sustainable. And if you and for me personally, when I observe just the way that I live my life and my past actions, I just notice that it's never sustainable. It's not sustainable to be in a state of I'm fighting my way for what I want. I need to push my way into the desire. I don't think it's sustainable. I really don't think so. I believe that on some level, we truly all know deep in our souls that effortless alignment is the way. It is the way, right? It has to be the way. It has to be the way. Because it's what is the alternative? What's alternative to be in pain, negativity, struggle, and resistance? I believe that paradigm has to fall apart eventually. It has to. It has to. No matter how much the ego construct convinces itself that being in a state of resistance and chasing pleasure and running away from pain is the way to live life. No matter how much the ego construct convinces itself that that is the way, it's going to fall apart. It has to, right? Because that's life is always trying to come back, I believe, in my experience, into a state of balance and harmony, not necessarily to chase pleasure and not necessarily to run away from pain, but to find a balance point. And that is what I found effortless alignment to be, is a balance point between these two forces of life. Because if you just chase what you want, it's going to create resistance. Now, if you stop chasing, or if you stop having goals completely, and you decide, you know what, I'm just going to give up, and I'm just going to, do nothing and be comfortable. Well, what you'll find, in my experience, is that that will also, weirdly enough, create resistance. It's like, it reminds me of like an Alan Watts quote, where it's like, you're I don't know if Alan Watts said this, but somebody said it. It's like, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Life is, there's no running away from life. Either way, you're going to have to, at some point, participate in life. And it's that balance point that I think we're all seeking deep in our souls. It's that what I call the middle way. It's the middle way. I believe that truly every single person, every soul in the human form, every soul deep inside, we all know that that middle point is what we're striving, because that's going to be sustainable for infinity, forever. That's what it means to be a human. That's what it means to be truly embodied human. Because when we talk about like effortless alignment, it can sound very like new agey and like oh, it has nothing to do with being a grounded human. But oftentimes you'll find, again, in my experience, that actually being in a state of resistance is where, like, that is the new age concept. I don't know. It's just that's the problem. The problem is the resistance. That's like the spiritual ego, or any kind of ego construct usually wants to like fight its way into what it wants, right? But the most, and that's just been my experience. It sounds so backwards to what I guess maybe some other people's experience. But for me personally, the more effortless and aligned I make my experience, the more grounded and the more human I really feel. Like spirituality and being a grounded, integrated human are not separate whatsoever. So like for me personally, effortless alignment is like the most human, grounded, practical thing that I've ever done. It has allowed me to get ridiculously powerful results. Anything that I actually truly want to be experiencing always happens in a space of alignment, not when I'm fighting my way into what I want. And that's just been my experience. And the third and final thing that I want to share with you in this video is that I believe that sometimes, though, although what I've said is most likely true in my experience, you can leave a comment down below letting me know what your opinion is on that, is that sometimes what needs to happen is that we need to experience resistance and lessons to remember that alignment is the way. It's a remembering. It's like, oh yeah, I don't have to struggle, right? It's a remembering. And when we experience resistance and suffering and negativity, that is a space where we can learn lessons. But I believe that always, no matter what, we will come back into balance and harmony and peace. And with that, I conclude this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, the only way to do so is by right now booking in a single session. You can book that by hitting the link that's in the description box of this video. It's also going to be in the comments of this video as well. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.